Hey there everyone, here is your weekly gold, silver and platinum price update and analysis brought to you by Ainslie Bullion and the Gold and Silver Standard. My name is Joe. Let's start off with gold. Use the time codes below to go to your favorite metal. Gold here on the weekly time frame, priced in US dollars, $1,950 roughly. As of right now, we're using the tradingview.com website. Last week, gold was trading at approximately, when we started the video last week, at $1,960. And right here you can see that it had gone back above that area. So let's show you right here, 1960, pop on these indicators. It had gone back above into this area here, which was looking good. We've had the bounce off this downtrend line in the last few weeks, about 6 weeks ago, 5-6 weeks ago, and moved back up to the 1,985 level. And then we'd been talking about this level here of 1960 needing to hold. If it didn't, we're talking about 1,930 to 35 roughly here. So a couple of red weeks just passed. Right now, as I said, 1,950. We are still looking okay. This is a normal kind of consolidation after having a move up like that. So 1, 2, 3 green weeks. Look, a couple of red weeks, not out of the question, and that's fine. I really want to see it hold this $1,930 level. Then I'd say we're coming back to test this downtrend line and probably up against the 200-day moving average, this blue line right here, sort of coinciding with all these levels right here, the downtrend line, and this level here of 1900 and the 200-day moving average and this purple box area. So around here will be the absolute level of support that I would need to see. Breaking down further from there, we've talked about the next levels, which would be around about your 1,810 to 1,790 area in this purple box right there. But so far, so good. Ultimately, what we'd love to see is a bounce off the 1930 area and then just heading up in the next few weeks. Of course, the next little major area of resistance I've had drawn in here from last week is around about 2015 US dollars. Up from there, if it does sail through there in the next number of weeks, then you've got 2050, and then from there we're up to new all-time highs. Where do you think the price is going in gold in the next few weeks at least? Do you think we're going to find support here or break down further? Pop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Really short and sharp on this one. Let's take a look at the relative strength index on the weekly time frame as well. So far, we're holding support of the halfway point right here. So when you're down in this area, it means that gold is extremely or into oversold territory, and then when you go under here it's extremely oversold, and on the opposite way you get into overbought or extremely overbought. Up here, of course, over time it goes through periods of being overbought down to oversold. So what we've seen so far is we have had a support level for quite a while, going back to November of 2022. So November last year we broke through, went into overbought territory, came back, and that's where we had that big dip from 1960 back down to $1,810. But it has remained support at the halfway point, so right in the mid-level between overbought and oversold. So far it has remained as support. So on balance of probability, and of course bullish on the precious metals in the long term, I would say more than 50% chance that we hold this downtrend line, we hold this area of $1,900, and then we continue on our merry way. Slightly more than a 50% chance, of course, I'm going to stay bullish because I am in the precious metals myself. And of course, Ainslie, you head over to ainslieBullion.com.au for all your favorite gold and silver and platinum as well. So that was gold. Let's take a look at silver. Silver on the weekly time frame, once again, tradingview.com website, $24.30. Let me pop off the indicators just for a second, and I'll go to silver right here. Sorry, that's the Bitcoin market. Let's go back to silver, and we were hovering around about $24.60. You can see that we had broken up above this downtrend line. We came up to that 25 level, and then we were holding here. We were back in this little area range here between the 24 to 24.50 area. I was suggesting it needed to hold that area, or else we're going to start heading down back to this downtrend line. And in the last week, that was on the daily. Let's pop on the daily very quickly, and on the daily, and pop on the indicators too. As you can see very clearly, we've gone back down, but we broke out. We made a play, so we came all the way back down to the bottom end. What do you know? So right here, here's that, what we were talking about right here. Here's that move, and then the move back into that range of 24 to 24.50. We had a test, a breakout test right there. It was looking okay, but no, unfortunately, it was a failed test. Oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. But what do you know? We have bottomed or found support right at the bottom of that range there at 24 US dollars. Another test to break out of 24.50 and hold above. It was a failed move, fast move back to the downside. And as you can see on the daily time frame, or maybe we'll just pop on to the 4 hourly as well, you can see in just the last number of hours, we had a test of 25.50 again, and this time it acted as resistance. Okay, so we're still within this band right here between 24 24.50, needs to hold. Okay, what we ultimately want to see is a breakout, a move above, and then particularly on the daily time frame, we want to see a close above 24.50. So for the moment, if I'm basing it, looking at it right now, then I'm going to suggest possibly that $24 may be taken out. If we also take a look on the daily time frame at the relative strength index, what you can see is we had that move all the way down to close to very oversold, not extremely oversold, but the bottom right here, and this is the bottom here at $22.10. We moved back all the way back up to into overbought territory. That's right here at that 25.25 level, and we are tracking down at the moment. So the direction is going down. So I would say on balance of probability, it's looking more likely, and I hope I'm wrong, of course, but it's looking possible. I would say more than 50% chance that we do break down from the 24 call. But so far, so good. We are still within that range. Just keep that in mind. Breaking down through 24 US dollars, then we are definitely going to have a test of this general area here. I would say definitely an area would be the downtrend line. We really need to hold that. But what you can see, very similar to gold actually, we're actually coming up, you can see this areas of confluence right there, the downtrend line. The bottom of this rectangular box right there coincides with the trend line right there at $23.20, and the 200-day moving average always also sneaking up. So quite possible around that general area of, say, it needs to be an area of big support if we do break down below $24, but that remains to be seen. Again, post a comment below. Do you think we are going to hold 24 and break up from here, or head back down to this area? I want to hear your thoughts, and if you have specific technical indicators that you like to use, that you find that work very well, again, post a comment below in the YouTube or in the Facebook comment as well, because we do post these on Facebook too. Let me know your thoughts. Definitely want to see that hold as support though. Of course, breaking up, we've been talking about infamous 26. Let's just wait to see what happens in the next few days, a week or so. Once we break out of here, if we do and we hold 24.50 is what we have to do. We've got to hold it on a close. Then 26 would be the next play. 1, 2, third time's a charm in my humble opinion. Then we're heading up further. But let's just leave it there for now. 26 will be your big resistance, or it has been big resistance for a very, very, very long time. Possibly breaking through this next time. Possibly third time's a charm for me. But so far in the 24 to 24.50 range, bias is to the downside for the next few days. Happy to be absolutely wrong, of course. Let's take a look at the daily relative strength index. Once again, similar to gold, we had this move down to the 2270 area that was signaling a bottom in the relative strength index on the daily time frame. Went into oversold territory, moved back up past halfway, back down, fake out, and then we went all the way back up to overbought right here at the 25.25. We've been talking about that just before, and it is heading down the direction, but we're above the halfway point right here. So again, biased to the downside, but I'm hopefully absolutely wrong. And if I am wrong, I'll claim it, of course, and as I said, be happy to be. That is silver. And let's take a look at platinum. We skipped platinum last week because we did the Bitcoin price. So here's where we were in platinum last time, $980. And this is after the double bottoming pattern right here. We're talking about this area, and we move back into the symmetrical triangle pattern. That's that one, sorry. So here we are. We had this move all the way back up, and we were still in that area. So we were talking about how this was going to be an area of resistance, this trend line right here. We needed to hold this as support, and we preferably really needed to hold $940 as support. Unfortunately, it did not. There was a failed attempt to break out of the 960 area, the top of this rectangular purple box, and failed move, fast move to the downside, and it looks like we're heading further down at the moment. So the next level is going to be 900 US dollars is the big line in the sand. Before then, we could have a bounce, and let me pop it in. Very easy to see these things. You guys can track it yourself, I'm sure. Again, this is on the daily time frame, and I would suggest right here so $916, that coincides with this little low on the daily time frame, if you can see that right there. So you may have a little bit of support there. Hopefully it bounces from there and continues, but if it does not hold 915, 916, definitely heading down to the $900 area. Something I'll get you to at least take note of, and I don't think it's probably applicable, but I do want to show you anyway. Potential head and shoulders pattern right here. I think this peak might be a little bit too high to call it the shoulder, but if you can see right here, shoulder, and then a higher peak, and then back down to the neckline, and then a lower peak after that, that can indicate a head and shoulders pattern. And then what might happen if it is a head and shoulders pattern, if it is validated, and if we break this area of 900, then we are heading all the way down. And generally what happens is the move is somewhere about the same distance between the neckline and the top of the peak right here. So you're talking, if we break down, if this is a head and shoulders pattern, which I'm still unsure about, post a comment below, then if we do break 900, and if it's a head and shoulders pattern, which is validated, then you're heading down. So that distance is about equidistant to around about your 750, roughly. Okay. So I think, I'm not quite sure about that. Probably not that valid. I just saw it before. Post a comment below and let me know if you think that is a valid pattern that could be playing out. But once again, got to hold 915, 916, definitely got to hold 900. Otherwise, definitely going down to your 850 level at bare minimum, in my humble opinion. So breaking up, of course, we need to break 960 and hold above that. And then, of course, this huge area here. And just if you are new to the channel, well, actually, very quickly, daily time frame on the relative strength index. This is the double bottom right here where we went into extremely oversold territory. So that was looking good for a bounce. We had that bounce. However, we have not gone into overbought just yet. And I will take note that once we broke above this line right here, that's at the 37 mark, that was an area of support, and we have not come down to it yet. So you could find an area of support around about this 37 to 37.50 level. Again, that's just not a dollar number, that's a number on the relative strength index. So quite possibly, could we see a turnaround, a bounce around about 36, 37, and then we make our way back up into overbought territory, and that would take platinum back into this general area. Well, obviously, what we really need to do is we have to break above and hold the big long-term downtrend line in order to say we are back, baby, and we are absolutely rolling. Let me show you on the weekly time frame. If you are new to the channel, welcome to all the new subscribers. We're getting lots of new subscribers every single day, every single week. So it's been a couple of weeks since platinum. For the regular watchers, bear with me 2 seconds. Of course, February of 2008 is when we peaked at $2,300 US. Since then, a massive downtrend line. We tried to break out in March of 2021, failed move, fast move to the downside. Tried to break out in March of 2022, failed move, fast move to the downside. Tried to break out in January of this year, failed move, fast move to the downside. Tried again, it broke above here, was looking great, $1,130 US, failed move, fast move to the downside. Okay, so hopefully, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. If we break up again, is fifth time the charm? You kind of get sick of saying the number and then is a charm, question mark. But unfortunately, that's what we saw with platinum, so it really just has to break and hold for a significant period of time. So far, though, I'm going to say a little bit more bearish on platinum, at least for the next week or so. Post a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on platinum. Of course, what I'd love you to do is head over to ainsleyBullion.com.au to buy all your favorite metal. And of course, hit the subscribe button on YouTube and follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well to stay updated with the price. You get a price analysis and update every single week. And of course, everything else we do on the channel are educational videos, our bullion specials, and much, much more. Balance your wealth in an unbalanced world. Take care. We'll see you next time.